Hello, welcome to my blog. I'm doing my blog early today. It's just gone 8 o'clock and I'm actually recording it early so I don't have to rush it in at the last minute. So I've got plenty of time to talk whatever kind of nonsense comes into my mind. Hello, Poppy. Poppy just came outside. Hello, Poppy. You alright? So let's start off with the facts. This day in history. What happened on this day in history, basically? Right, so on this day, 14th of April in 1471, Yorkist forces defeat the Lancastrians at the Battle of Barnet, restoring Edward the Fourth to the throne. Right, okay. Yeah, that's a period of history I know sod all about. And on this day in 1865, US President Abraham Lincoln is shot while in the theatre in Washington and dies the next day. Yes, John Wilkes Booth, was it? An actor, I think, killed him, I believe. In 2003, on this day, the Human Genome Project to fully map the human genome is successfully completed. So what did that do exactly? I know that it's all about all our genes. Does it know everything about all our genes? I know we're made up of chromosomes and X and Y, and what exactly is the genome? Is it every single cell in our bodies? Is that what they've done with that project? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, obviously. Popolini, you're not supposed to play with that piece of paper. It's not for you to play with. It's not for you to play with. It's not a toy. Right. Let me just give you I know. I've got a random Wikipedia page as well. There's a random article feature on Wikipedia. It's telling me this is it's a stub. It's not a full. It's about bent notes. A bent note, not like in a dodgy note that's like you're trying to pass in the pub to get some beer with. Not like a fake one with a picture of the Queen on it. It doesn't look very good. Now, a bent note is a musical note that is varied in pitch with unfretted strings or other continuous pitch instruments such as the trombone, or with the human voice. Such variation is more properly described in terms of intonation. Bent notes are commonly played on fretted instruments, literally by bending the string with excess finger pressure, or on three-reed instruments such as the harmonica, by using excess air pressure to overblow the reed. On brass instruments such as the trumpet, the note is bent by using the lip. The bent note is commonly found in various forms of jazz and blues. There you go, that's what a bent note is. You thought it was passing a dodgy £25 note, didn't you, in the pub? Yeah, it's not like that kind of bent note. Not like bent as a 9 bob note, that kind of bent. Right, now we have a poem now. A random poem is by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I'm pretty sure that he's the guy who did the one called The Wreck of the Hesperus. Wreck of the Hesperus, yeah. Now this one is called The Tide Rises, the Tide Falls. Now there's a very, like, you might be able to hear Exodus in the background because Fro is rocking out to Exodus, thrashing out to Exodus. I think you also might be able to throw up. I heard the classic sounds of him, his pre-throw up routine. So I might hear sort of him vomiting in the background a bit. We'll see. Anyway, The Tide Rises, the Tide Falls by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The tide rises, the tide falls, the twilight darkens, the curlew calls. Along the sea sands damp and brown, the traveller hastens toward the town. And the tide rises, the tide falls. Darkness settles on roofs and walls, but the sea in the darkness calls. The little waves with their soft white hands efface the footprints in the sands. And the tide rises, the tide falls. The morning breaks, the steeds in their stalls stamp and neigh as the hostler calls. The day returns, but never more returns the traveller to the shore. And the tide rises, the tides fall. There you go, that was by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, who was around from 1807 to 1882. It wasn't a bad poem, was it? Let's hit you up with a few short poems as well. Let's go to Z. If there's any poems beginning with Z that are short, no Z poems. Well, that's disappointing. Let's try X. Any X poems? Any poems beginning with X? No. Well, I am very upset. Let's try V. Okay, The Vacuum by Howard Nemerov. The house is so quiet now. The vacuum cleaner sulks in the corner closet, its bag limp as a stopped lung, its mouth. That's not really a blinking short poem, is it? That's like a poem that sort of stops all of a sudden when it's like should have more words at the end of it. It's like an unfinished poem almost. Right, Very Large Moth by Craig Arnold. Your first thought when the light snaps on and the black wings clatter about the kitchen is a bat. Yeah, it's another one of those ones that look like, it's just like, I haven't really finished that. I haven't really bothered to finish that. Whatever, that was a short poem. That was enough of me. I've got a random Wikipedia page, probably going to be too much to read actually. It's lucky it was a short one. Are you up, Pops? You look very unsettled there. Do you want to look in the camera? Look in the camera, Pops. Pops, look in the camera. Look in the camera, Pops. Say hello. I don't know if you can pick her up. Right, I'm bugging off anyway. That's my blog for today. I'm not a millionaire. Who would have thought it? What else to report? Why am I still doing these blogs? I don't know. Oh, happy Easter, everyone. It's Good Friday today. It wasn't that great a Friday, to be honest. It was an okay Friday, I suppose. Highlight of my day was cleaning some mould off the walls. My hands are still a bit screwed. My knees are still a bit crappy. My fingers are still a bit achy. Oh, well. Poppy, look, there's Poppy again with that piece of paper. Why do you want to keep holding that piece of paper? I've been sticking bogies in that. I won't play with that, mate. Right, I'm bugging off. Bye.